The stars looked different from the observation deck of the UES Defender. Captain Elaine Murphy pressed her palm against the cold glass and took a deep breath. After 20 years in the United Earth Defense Force, she never thought she'd be the one to make first contact with an alien civilization. "Captain, they're responding to our hail," said Communications Officer Peter Walsh. Elaine straightened her uniform. "Put them through." The main screen flickered to life. The alien had blue-gray skin that seemed to shimmer like water. Its 4 eyes blinked independently of each other, and when it spoke, its mouth moved in ways that didn't match the words Elaine heard. "Greetings, humans. I am Ambassador Krell of the Zorlaxian Emissaries. We come on behalf of the Galactic Council." Elaine stepped forward. "I am Captain Elaine Murphy of the United Earth Defense Force. We welcome you to our solar system." The alien made a gesture with its 6-fingered hand. "We have observed your species for some time. Your recent advancements have drawn our attention. The Galactic Council wishes to extend an invitation to Earth." News of the alien ship spread quickly across Earth. Within days, the United Nations called an emergency session. John Carter, Earth's top diplomat, was chosen to lead negotiations with the Zorlaxians. The meeting took place at the neutral location of the International Space Station. John watched as Ambassador Krell and 2 other aliens boarded. They moved with an odd grace in the low gravity. The Galactic Council includes 37 species from across 3 spiral arms of the galaxy, Krell explained. "We maintain peace and facilitate technological exchange between worlds." "And you want Earth to join?" John asked. Krell's upper eyes blinked. "As a probationary member, yes. Your species has potential, but also concerning aggressive tendencies." John felt a chill at those words. "We've had our conflicts, but we've grown beyond many of them." "Indeed, we have observed your progress. With proper guidance, you will make a valuable addition to the Council." Krell extended a data crystal. "This contains information about initial technological exchanges, medical advancements, clean energy solutions." John accepted the crystal. "And what does the Council expect in return?" "Only cooperation and transparency. Access to your resource databases would be a gesture of good faith." In the following weeks, scientists examined the alien technology. The medical advances alone could save millions of lives. Energy solutions could end climate change within years. The United Nations voted overwhelmingly to accept the Council's offer. Only a few voiced concerns. During a private dinner at the UN building in New York, Captain Murphy shared her worries with John. "Something feels off," she said, keeping her voice low. "They're offering so much, but their terms are vague." John nodded. "I sense it too. When Krell talks about our aggressive tendencies, there's something in his tone. Like we're being judged. Or managed," John replied. Later that night, John couldn't sleep. He stood at his hotel window, looking at the lights of the city. His phone buzzed with a message from the president. "Council request for resource databases approved. Share everything." John sent his confirmation, but his finger hesitated before pressing send. Once they shared Earth's resource information, there was no going back. The next morning, official ceremonies welcomed Earth as a probationary member of the Galactic Council. Ambassador Krell presented the formal declaration while millions watched worldwide. "This marks the beginning of a new era for humanity," Krell announced. "Under the Council's guidance, you will join the galactic community and share in its prosperity." The crowd cheered. Few noticed the slight emphasis on the word guidance, or the way Krell's lower eyes remained fixed on Earth's resources displayed on nearby screens. As the celebrations continued, the Zorlaxian ship sent its first transmission to the Council homeworld. Initial integration proceeding as expected. Resource analysis confirms preliminary scans. This world will serve the Council well. 5 years passed since first contact. Earth had changed in ways no one could have imagined. Green energy towers dotted the landscape, providing clean power to cities that once choked on smog. Hospitals boasted miracle cures for diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries. The Mars colony had tripled in size, and the Europa base now held over 5,000 people. But not all changes were welcome. Lisa Bennett stared at her computer screen in the Houston Research Center. As head of the Applied Council Technology team, she had full access to the systems the aliens had gifted to Earth. Something wasn't right with the code she was examining. "Find anything interesting?" asked Frank Russell, her lab partner. Frank had always been supportive of Lisa's work, even when others thought she was too suspicious of their alien benefactors. "Look at this." Lisa pointed to a section of code. "This isn't just a monitoring system. It's actively scanning and sending data somewhere." Frank leaned closer. "What kind of data?" "Everything. Resource locations, production rates, population statistics." Lisa lowered her voice. "And it's hidden under layers of encryption. If I hadn't been looking for it specifically, I would never have found it." Frank scratched his beard. "You should report this." The next day, Lisa presented her findings to Director Alan West, the government official overseeing council technology integration. His office was on the 23rd floor of what people now called the Tower, a gleaming council administrative outpost in downtown Houston. "These concerns have been raised before, Dr. Bennett," Director West said dismissively. The council explained that all their systems include diagnostic protocols. "It's for safety." "This isn't a diagnostic protocol," Lisa insisted. "It's surveillance." Director West sighed. "I'll have someone look into it. In the meantime, please continue your assigned projects." 3 days later, Frank Russell was transferred to the Jupiter Moon outpost. No explanation was given. His desk was cleared out by council security before Lisa arrived at work. That evening, Lisa received a private message from someone named Stargazer. "You're not the only one who's noticed. Meet at the old library, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Lisa arrived at the abandoned city library cautiously. Inside, she found 6 people waiting for her. She recognized Dr. Howard Lee from MIT and Professor Grace Allen from the European Space Agency. "We all found something wrong with Council Tech," Howard explained, "and we all reported it. Then we all lost colleagues," Grace added. From the shadows, a man stepped forward. Lisa gasped when she recognized Navy Commander Paul Davis, a military officer who worked with Captain Murphy. "The Council has established 37 administrative outposts around Earth," he said, "plus 15 on Mars and 3 on Europa. Each one is heavily secured and restricted to most humans." "They're not just outposts," said a woman Lisa didn't know. "My name is Kelly Evans, Geological Survey. The Council is mining Earth's resources at rates that will deplete major deposits within 20 years." They shared information late into the night. The picture that emerged was troubling. Behind the facade of technological gifts, the Council was systematically establishing control over Earth and its colonies. The next morning, Lisa woke to breaking news. The Council had announced a new resource-sharing initiative. Earth's metals, minerals, and water would be equitably distributed across Council worlds. The compensation offered was a fraction of the resource's true value. When a reporter questioned Ambassador Krell about this apparent exploitation, his 4 eyes blinked slowly before he responded. "Humans must understand their place in the galactic community," he said. "You receive our protection and guidance. These resources serve the greater good." In her apartment, Lisa watched the broadcast with growing anger. Her phone buzzed with a message from Stargazer. "Meeting tonight. We're not alone. Resistance is growing." Outside her window, a Council transport ship descended toward the tower, its massive shadow falling across the city like a dark promise of things to come. In his private chambers, Ambassador Krell sent a report to the Council homeworld. "Human compliance decreasing by 4% this quarter. Recommend accelerating Phase 2. These creatures require firmer handling than anticipated." 10 years had passed since the aliens first arrived. Earth was no longer truly Earth's. The Galactic Council's grip had tightened slowly, like a snake squeezing its prey. Resource extraction facilities operated day and night, stripping the planet of metals and minerals at an alarming rate. Whenever humans protested, the Council deployed pacification measures that left dozens dead and hundreds injured. The breaking point came when Europa Colony refused entry to Council inspectors. "We have sovereignty rights under the original agreement," Governor Sam Mitchell broadcast from Europa. "This moon was settled by humans before first contact. The Council has no jurisdiction here." 3 days later, Europa's defense systems went dark. Council ships moved into orbit. By nightfall, a new Council oversight station stood in the center of the main colony dome, and Governor Mitchell was nowhere to be found. Admiral William Grant watched the news from his office at the Lunar Defense Base. As the highest-ranking military officer still in a position of authority, he felt the weight of humanity's future on his shoulders. The Council had systematically replaced or sidelined most military leaders who showed any backbone. "They're not even hiding it anymore," said his aide, Lieutenant Diane Cooper. "No, they're not," Grant replied. He pressed a button under his desk that activated a signal jammer. "Send the call signs. Meeting tonight." That evening, 20 trusted officers gathered in an abandoned mining tunnel beneath the lunar surface. They had disabled their communication devices and passed through 3 security checkpoints to get there. Europa was the test, Grant told them. They wanted to see if we would react. Our silence tells them we won't. "What can we do?" asked Commander Ryan Butler. "Their weapons are centuries beyond ours." "We find a weakness," Grant said. "Every species has one." Meanwhile, on Earth, Lisa Bennett led what had become the largest underground research collective in human history. For years, they had studied Council technology while hiding from alien surveillance. Their headquarters was an old coal mine in Wyoming, shielded from detection by layers of rock and jammers built from modified Council tech. "We've noticed something strange," Lisa told her team of 50 scientists. "Council species all show discomfort around certain humans. At first, we thought it was random, but we've identified a pattern." Dr. Howard Lee pointed to brain scan results on a large screen. "Humans have unique neurological patterns, some stronger than others. These patterns seem to interfere with Council tech and even the aliens themselves." "Like static on a radio?" asked Dr. Grace Allen. "More like a disruption to their biological systems," Lisa explained. "Something about human brain waves creates a frequency they find impossible to replicate or shield against." As they discussed the implications, news broke across the emergency broadcast system. Aliens had begun settling on Earth in what they called cultural exchange zones. These areas quickly became off-limits to humans. In New York, a family was forcibly removed from their home of 3 generations because it fell within a new exchange zone. When neighbors protested, Council security killed 17 people. On Mars, tensions reached a breaking point. The Council demanded that humans relocate to designated areas to make room for new mining operations. Captain Elaine Murphy, now stationed on Mars as a military advisor, sent an encrypted message to Admiral Grant. "They're pushing too far. Mars is ready to push back." Admiral Grant read the message twice before deleting it. He turned to Lieutenant Cooper. "Contact Lisa Bennett. Tell her we need a weapon. Something that uses those neurological patterns she's been studying." In his private chambers at the main Council tower in former Washington, D.C., Ambassador Krell reviewed the latest resistance reports. Human defiance was growing beyond acceptable levels. He composed a message to the Council High Command. "Recommend immediate implementation of the Human Management Protocol. This species requires stricter control measures than initially anticipated." The response came within minutes. "Protocol authorized. Commence subjugation phase." Krell's mouth formed what passed for a smile among his species. 10 years of careful manipulation was about to pay off. Soon, humans would know their place in the galaxy, at the bottom. The announcement came without warning. Ambassador Krell stood before cameras in what used to be the United Nations building in New York, now the Council's Earth headquarters. His blue-gray skin looked almost black under the harsh lights. "The Galactic Council has approved the Human Management Protocol," he said. "This program will ensure the proper development of your species." The protocol's details appeared on screens worldwide. Humans would now need Council permission to have children. Education would be limited to Council-approved topics. Earth would be permanently classified as a guided species without voting rights in the Council. Riots broke out in every major city. In Chicago, people stormed a Council outpost. In London, thousands surrounded the alien embassy. The Council response was swift and brutal. Alien weapons fired from hovering ships, vaporizing entire city blocks. By nightfall, over 10,000 humans were dead. On Mars, the situation reached a critical point. Governor Patricia Voss, who had replaced the Council-friendly previous governor through a secret election among the colonists, addressed the people from a hidden bunker. "For too long, we have watched our Earth home suffer under alien rule," she said, her voice firm despite the danger. "Mars Colony hereby declares independence from Galactic Council authority. We will no longer surrender our resources or our freedom." The Council's response came within hours. 3 massive warships appeared in Mars orbit, weapons trained on the main colony domes. A transmission played on all frequencies: submit or be eliminated. Governor Voss didn't back down. "If you destroy us, you prove to all species in the galaxy that the Council is nothing but a pack of conquerors. We have sent evidence of your actions to every world we could reach." In the tense standoff, Lisa Bennett's research team worked frantically in their underground Wyoming base. For months, they had studied the strange effect human brain patterns had on Council technology. Now they needed a breakthrough. "Look at this," said Dr. Howard Lee, pointing to his screen. "When we amplify the frequency that human brains naturally produce, Council tech doesn't just malfunction, it completely shuts down." Lisa leaned closer. "How strong is the effect?" "Strong enough that a small device could protect a person. The larger one might shield a building." Lisa immediately sent an encrypted message to Admiral Grant on the Moon. "We have something. Need resources to build prototypes." The Admiral's response came quickly. "Whatever you need. This is our chance." Meanwhile, across Earth, something strange was happening. Council aliens reported equipment failures when near certain humans. Weapons malfunctioned. Communication devices went dead. The aliens became nervous, even fearful, around these humans. In his private quarters, Ambassador Krell reviewed disturbing reports. The Human Management Protocol should have broken resistance. Instead, it had strengthened it. And these technological failures were spreading. He ordered immediate restrictions on human movement and gatherings. But it was too late. The resistance had grown too large to control. In homes and hidden places across Earth, humans built devices based on Lisa's designs, simple technology that amplified their natural brainwaves. On Mars, the standoff continued. The Council ships remained in orbit, weapons ready. Inside the colony, engineers worked to adapt Lisa's technology to the colony's shield generators. "If this works," Governor Voss told her advisors, "we can protect ourselves from their weapons." Admiral Grant prepared his forces on the Moon. They had retrofitted old Earth ships with the new protective technology. It was a small fleet, just 7 ships. But it might be enough to help Mars. Lisa Bennett stood in the Wyoming facility, watching as the first large-scale brainwave amplifier powered up. The device hummed quietly, its influence spreading outward in invisible waves. "Will it be enough?" asked Dr. Grace Allen. Lisa's eyes were determined. "It has to be. Tomorrow, we fight back." Across the solar system, humans prepared for rebellion. After years of submission, the breaking point had been reached. The Council had pushed too far, and humanity would no longer bend. On the Council homeworld, far across the galaxy, the High Command received a troubling message. Human control compromised. Request additional forces. With Mars under blockade by Council warships, Earth's resistance movements united under a single banner: Operation Prometheus. The name was fitting. Humans were taking back the fire that the gods of the galaxy had tried to control. Admiral Grant converted the abandoned North Lunar Base into the Resistance headquarters. The location was perfect. The Council had deemed the old mining facility too primitive to bother monitoring. Now it buzzed with activity as officers coordinated with resistance cells across Earth, Mars, and the outer colonies. "We need to test Lisa's technology in actual combat," Grant told his officers. "But we can't risk a full-scale battle yet." Lieutenant Diane Cooper pointed to a map. "The Council's supply depot in Seattle is lightly guarded. They don't expect us to hit something so small." Grant nodded. "Perfect. Assemble a strike team." On Earth, Lisa Bennett helped distribute brainwave amplifiers to resistance cells. The devices were simple, small metal discs that could be hidden in a pocket or worn as jewelry. Each amplified the natural frequencies of the human brain that disrupted Council technology. "Remember," Lisa told the cell leaders gathered in the Wyoming base, "these won't stop bullets or conventional weapons. They only affect Council tech. Keep your heads down and stay safe." The Resistance communicated using old radio equipment that the Council considered too primitive to monitor. The aliens' arrogance had become their weakness. They couldn't imagine humans would return to technology from 2 centuries ago. In Council administrative zones, the aliens began experiencing strange phenomena. Their advanced weapons would suddenly power down. Their communication systems filled with static. Their hover vehicles dropped from the sky without warning. The Zorlaxian overseer for North America summoned his security chief. "What is happening to our equipment?" The security chief, a reptilian alien from a Council client species, looked nervous. "We don't know, sir. The malfunctions occur most frequently when humans are nearby, but we can't determine the cause." "Then restrict human movement even further," the overseer ordered. "No human may approach Council facilities without prior scanning and approval." The new restrictions only fueled human anger. In cities across Earth, people who had accepted Council rule now joined the Resistance. Underground networks grew stronger each day. Kevin Daniels was especially valuable to the Resistance. As a seemingly compliant human assistant to the alien administration in former Washington, D.C., he had access to classified Council information. Each night, he secretly copied battle plans and security protocols, sending them through the old radio network to Admiral Grant. "They're bringing in reinforcements," Kevin reported one evening. 3 more warships will arrive within the week." "Then we move tonight," Grant decided. The Seattle operation was the Resistance's first coordinated strike. 20 soldiers equipped with brain-wave amplifiers approached the Council's supply depot under cover of darkness. As they neared the facility, alien security systems began to fail. Alarms stayed silent. Force fields flickered and died. The strike team secured the depot in less than 15 minutes, capturing valuable Council weapons and supplies. By the time alien reinforcements arrived, the humans had vanished, leaving nothing but confused aliens with malfunctioning equipment. On Mars, Governor Voss used the Council's distraction to strengthen the colony's defenses. Engineers installed larger versions of Lisa's amplifiers around the main domes. When Council ships moved closer to intimidate the colonists, their weapon systems mysteriously went offline. "We can hold them off," Voss told her people. "Earth is fighting back, and so are we." The Council was facing something entirely new, a species that could disable their technology simply by existing. In their vast history of conquering and subjugating, they had never encountered such a defense. On the Council homeworld, the High Command met in emergency session. The Zorlaxian Supreme Leader's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, showing extreme agitation. "These humans cannot be allowed to spread this ability," he declared. "If necessary, we will sterilize their entire system." But for the first time in Council history, there was hesitation among the commanders. One brave voice asked, "What if we cannot?" After the successful Seattle raid, Admiral Grant knew it was time for a larger operation. The Council's North American headquarters in Denver was their primary target. This was no small outpost. It was a massive complex that controlled Council operations across the continent. "This is high risk," Lieutenant Cooper warned during the planning session. "But if we succeed, we'll gain access to their central database." Grant nodded grimly. "Lisa's team has developed stronger amplifiers. We need 50 volunteers who understand they might not come back." They didn't need to ask twice. Hundreds of resistance fighters volunteered. Grant selected the best 50, including Lisa Bennett herself. She insisted on coming to monitor the amplifier technology in action. "I need to see how they perform under full combat conditions," she explained. "We might only get one shot at this." The attack began at dawn. 5 small transport ships, relics from before first contact that the Council had dismissed as obsolete, approached Denver from different directions. Each carried 10 soldiers equipped with the strongest brainwave amplifiers yet created. As they neared the Council headquarters, the effects were immediate and dramatic. The massive energy shields surrounding the facility flickered and died. Alien weapons systems went offline. Even their emergency backup systems failed. Inside the facility, confusion turned to panic as every piece of advanced technology stopped working. Security doors froze half open. Communication systems went silent. The alien staff, used to relying on their superior technology, found themselves helpless. Admiral Grant led the Central Strike Team directly to the command center. They met little resistance. Most Council security forces had been equipped with energy weapons that no longer functioned. The few who carried physical weapons were quickly overwhelmed. "Secure the data cores," Grant ordered as they entered the main control room. "And find Ambassador Krell." But Krell was gone. He had escaped in the confusion, taking a small ship that had been kept far enough from the facility to avoid the amplifier effects. Lisa plugged portable drives into the alien computer systems, copying everything she could. "This is incredible," she said. "They have files on every species they've ever encountered. Technical specifications for all their weapons. Communication protocols for their entire fleet." For 3 hours, the humans controlled the Denver facility, extracting valuable intelligence and technology. Then the alarm came. Council reinforcements were approaching from orbit. "Time to go," Grant ordered. "Set the charges." The resistance fighters planted explosives throughout the facility, timed to detonate after they escaped. They loaded captured technology and data onto their transports and departed just as the first Council reinforcement ships appeared in the sky. The explosions lit up the morning sky as the Denver facility collapsed in on itself. The resistance ships scattered in different directions, using pre-industrial flight paths that confused Council tracking systems. The Council response was swift and terrible. Unable to find the resistance fighters, they turned their weapons on Denver itself. Energy beams from orbit glassed the outskirts of the city, turning the land to smoking crystal. Thousands of civilians died in this punishment. But something unexpected happened. Instead of cowing humanity into submission, the attack on Denver galvanized resistance worldwide. People who had been fence-sitters now joined the fight. The Council had shown its true face, and humans would no longer accept their rule. When Council forces tried to recapture the ruins of the Denver facility, they discovered the humans had left surprises behind. Hidden amplifiers activated as the aliens approached, causing their equipment to fail. Booby traps that required no advanced technology claimed dozens of alien lives. On Mars, Governor Voss used the distraction to break the blockade. Small, fast ships slipped past the Council warships, bringing crucial supplies and amplifier technology to the colony. For the first time, Mars could defend itself effectively. Admiral Grant gathered his officers on the moon base. "Denver is just the beginning," he said. "Now we take the fight to them." On the Council homeworld, the reports of the Denver attack caused unprecedented alarm. The Supreme Leader summoned his War Council. "Deploy the planet crackers," he ordered. "If we cannot control these humans, we will eliminate them." One commander spoke up. "Supreme Leader, is that wise? Other species are watching. If we destroy humans for successfully resisting, others might question our authority." The Supreme Leader's 4 eyes narrowed. Are you defending these primitives? No, Supreme Leader. I am concerned about Council stability. For the first time in the Council's long history, there was dissent in its highest ranks. The humans had achieved more than just a military victory. They had planted seeds of doubt in the Council itself. After the Denver attack, the Council showed its true nature. Gone was the mask of benevolence. In its place came brutal force. Alien ships appeared above major cities worldwide. Their weapons rained down destruction, targeting areas where resistance was strongest. But something strange happened during these attacks. Council weapons often failed at crucial moments. Ships lost power and drifted aimlessly. Some crashed to Earth when their engines shut down mid-flight. In her underground laboratory, Lisa Bennett watched the reports with grim satisfaction. The amplifiers are working better than we hoped, she told her team. Every human brain on Earth is broadcasting frequencies that disrupt their technology. The more afraid or angry we are, the stronger the effect. Dr. Howard Lee pointed to his screen. We've perfected the larger version. It can create a dead zone for Council tech that extends for miles. Lisa immediately sent the new designs to resistance cells worldwide. Within days, these larger amplifiers created safe zones where Council technology simply wouldn't work. Humans in these areas could move freely without fear of alien surveillance or weapons. Admiral Grant used this advantage to strike back. His forces liberated the lunar colonies in a swift 3-day campaign. With the moon secure, humanity had a safe base beyond Earth. The Council responded by moving their planet Cracker into Earth orbit. This weapon could split a world in half, ending all human resistance in one strike. Humans watched the massive ship position itself above the planet, a dark promise of extinction. They'll destroy everything rather than admit defeat, Governor Voss said during an emergency call with Admiral Grant and Lisa Bennett. Maybe not, Lisa replied. Our spies report the ship's crew is experiencing severe headaches and disorientation. Earth's combined brain waves are affecting them even at that distance. As the planet Cracker prepared to fire, something incredible happened. The weapon's energy core overloaded. A blinding flash lit up Earth's sky as the massive ship tore itself apart. Debris scattered across orbit, some pieces striking and destroying the Zorlaxian dreadnought that had been providing protection. For the first time since the Council arrived, humans celebrated openly in the streets. The aliens' most powerful weapon had failed, destroyed by its own power. Many took it as a sign that the tide was turning. Kevin Daniels, still working undercover in what remained of the Washington, D.C. Council administration, intercepted a fascinating transmission. He sent it immediately to Admiral Grant. Sir, you need to see this, he reported. The Council species are fighting among themselves. Some are questioning Zorlaxian leadership. Grant reviewed the intercepted message. It revealed something humanity had never known. The Galactic Council wasn't really a council at all. It was a Zorlaxian empire that had subjugated other species, forcing them to serve as administrators, soldiers, and workers. We're not the first species they tried to conquer, Grant told his officers, but we seem to be the first to fight back effectively. On Mars, Governor Voss used the Council's distraction to strengthen the colony's position. Engineers converted the brainwave amplifiers into offensive weapons that could be mounted on ships. The Mars defense fleet grew stronger each day. Lisa Bennett made another critical discovery. By analyzing Council data stolen from Denver, she found that human DNA contained sequences not seen in any Council species. These sequences appeared to be related to the brainwave patterns that disrupted alien technology. They didn't just want our resources, she told Admiral Grant during a secure call. They wanted to study us. We're different from anything they've encountered before. Grant's expression was grim. And they wanted to control that difference before it threatened them. Too late, Lisa replied with a small smile. Across the solar system, resistance fighters launched coordinated attacks on Council outposts. On Earth, Mars, and the moons of Jupiter, Humans reclaimed territories that had been under alien control for years. The Council forces were in disarray. Without their technological advantage, they found themselves facing a species whose determination they had severely underestimated. On the Council homeworld, the Supreme Leader faced unprecedented challenges to his authority. 3 subject species had declared independence, inspired by human resistance. For the first time in thousands of years, the Zorlaxian Empire was crumbling. These humans, the Supreme Leader hissed to his remaining loyal commanders. They must be eliminated. Prepare the homeworld defenses. They will not stop with their own system. He was right. Admiral Grant was already planning the next phase, taking the fight directly to the Zorlaxian homeworld. The final battle for freedom began 20 years after the aliens first arrived on Earth. Admiral Grant stood on the bridge of the Liberty, humanity's first true warship. Built using captured Council technology combined with human ingenuity, it carried the most powerful brainwave amplifiers ever created. Fleet status, Grant ordered. Lieutenant Cooper, now promoted to commander, checked her console. All ships report ready, sir. The Allied vessels have taken position. The Allied vessels were a surprise even to Grant. As news of human resistance spread, ships from other Council-dominated species had defected, joining the human fleet. The Valerians, insect-like beings who had been forced to serve as Council engineers. The Narak, a reptilian race who had been soldiers for the Zorlaxians for centuries. Even a few Zorlaxian ships crewed by rebels who opposed their leader's brutal empire. Lisa Bennett joined Grant on the bridge. The years of resistance had turned her from a scientist into a warrior, though her true weapons remained her mind and the technology she had developed. The amplifiers are at full power, she reported. Once we're in range of their homeworld, every piece of Zorlaxian technology will be affected. The human fleet, accompanied by their alien allies, emerged from jump points near the Zorlaxian homeworld. The planet was surrounded by defense platforms and hundreds of ships. But as the human fleet approached, confusion spread through the Zorlaxian forces. Weapons failed to lock on targets. Shields flickered and died. Communication systems filled with static. Now, ordered Grant. The human fleet attacked, firing weapons that combined Earth technology with captured alien advancements. Unlike pure Council technology, these hybrid systems continued working despite the brainwave interference. Meanwhile, Lisa activated a special transmitter. It broadcast evidence of Zorlaxian atrocities across all Council communication channels, the truth about how they had conquered and enslaved dozens of species, how they had lied and manipulated their way to power. The Zorlaxian defense grid failed completely as the broadcast continued. On planets across the Council-controlled space, subject species watched the evidence of their oppressors' crimes. One by one, they rose up, declaring independence. The battle for the Zorlaxian homeworld lasted only 6 hours, with their technology failing and their empire crumbling around them. The Supreme Leader and his commanders surrendered. Admiral Grant, Lisa Bennett, and representatives from the allied species met the Zorlaxian leaders in their Grand Council chamber. The Supreme Leader's 4 eyes blinked rapidly in distress. "You have destroyed a system of order that stood for 10,000 years, he said bitterly. "We've ended an empire built on lies and suffering," Grant replied. "Now we'll build something better." In the days that followed, a new alliance formed. Unlike the false council, this was a true federation of equals. Each species, including humans, would have the same voice and rights. The Zorlaxians would remain members, but their days of domination were over. 25 years after first contact, Admiral Grant stood with Lisa Bennett on the observation deck of the new Alliance headquarters, built in orbit around a neutral star. Ships from dozens of species moved peacefully through space around them. "Did you ever think we'd end up here?" Lisa asked, watching a Valerian diplomatic vessel dock alongside a human transport. Grant shook his head. "When they first came to Earth, I thought it was the end of human independence. I never imagined we'd not only free ourselves, but help free half the galaxy. They pushed too far, Lisa said softly. That was their mistake. And they lost everything, Grant finished. On Earth, the scars of occupation were healing. The Council extraction facilities had been dismantled, and the planet was recovering. Humans now traveled freely among the stars, respected by other species for their unique abilities and their determination. The New Alliance's founding document, displayed prominently in the headquarters main hall, began with words that had become famous across the galaxy. All sentient beings are created equal, with the right to determine their own destiny. Never again will any species claim dominion over another. Never again will anyone push too far. In the vastness of space, a new era had begun, one where humanity had found its place not as conquered subjects, but as equals who had proven that freedom was worth any price.